I mentioned Elizabeth Arceneaux. In 1993, she married the love of her life, Tom Arceneaux. What you may or may not know is that I was just over 10 years old, and I had not had a father in my life. And on that day, I had a father. And I'd always wanted a father. I'd heard lots of things. It sounded great, right? But it was a lot different than what I expected. You see these ideas of father, these real macho men, and so I had this idea of what that would be. And Tom is very strong, and that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is he redefined all my expectations. Because the macho-ness that he defined for me didn't look like, just going and working out and doing lots of muscles and all that kind of. He did, by the way, he did work out, just to be clear. But instead, what I saw was a diligence in how he served and loved my mother, and how he served and loved me, and how he served and loved everyone in his community. He was the type of man who was a romantic. He always bought flowers. He always, said sweet things. But what I remember about his love the most is that he taught me how to throw a ball. Not just one ball. He taught me how to throw every type of ball, in which he threw it so often I finally figured out that I would never be able to earn any money throwing a ball. It took a lot of throws. One time we went and played basketball at the downtown Y, and we played to 100. Okay? Now, as an adult, I think that's insane. He did more than once, too. Anyway, but he was extremely committed. And when I finally did something that I was decent at, which was play violin and viola for our orchestra, he came to I went to Catamagnet, and he came and got involved supporting our orchestra. And when Tom gets involved supporting something, he doesn't do it like, hey, I'm just going to show up for a few hours and help out. Like, he got involved, and all of a sudden we were going to Carnegie Hall, and they were raising like $100,000 for everybody who couldn't afford to go, to make sure that they could go. And he was energizing parents who may or may not have thought that their kid was ever going to do anything like this, to do things that they never dreamed of. And beyond that, it was like, well, where are we going to go next? We went to Carnegie Hall, then we went to Italy and played with the Italian National Symphony, went to the Kennedy Center, and I don't know that many people do that. I definitely had my expectations set really high for what a father was going to be. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I realized how exceptional this man was. I was like, well, clearly that's just how people are. But they're not. Okay? What you know about Tom Arceneaux is that he is an incredibly accomplished man. A lot of you already know that. If anyone who went to Captain Shreve with him, or maybe heard about him, he graduated with honors, and then he was chosen for the Circle of Honor, Captain Shreve. Does anyone know what the Circle of Honor is? A few people. Circle of Honor is kind of the highest honor for any of their alumni. Basically, it's honoring specific individuals who have made a difference in the community, maybe at the community level or at the national level. And they chose Tom Arceneaux in 2016, I believe. You know what? That was about 20 years too late in my book, because I knew he was always that way. Then, of course, he went to college at LSU, but of course, as a Louisianan at heart, that's where he wanted to go, and he went, and he did really well. He was magna cum laude, got his BS in business administration, majored in economics, and then he went into law. And of course, he has to do that really well, so he graduated with honors, was on the law review. And I tell you all this because when I went to clerk for a federal judge in Dallas, my federal judge was starstruck to hear that I was related to Tom Arceneaux. My mentor looked up to my father. Okay, and I have to tell you, it wasn't easy. He worked really, really hard, and he didn't just work hard at work. Practicing law here since 1979, he worked really hard and really long serving others. So he's been serving even before he met me. He was on the city council here back in the 80s, from I think 1982 to the 90s. He served on multiple committees while he did it. Nothing was enough for this community, okay? And when he was with us, while he did an excellent job caring for our family, he also went above and beyond caring for the community as well. Serving on boards, he served recently as Shreveport Bar Association's president. He's been on the numerous other boards, such as the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast, the Northwest Louisiana Economic Council. I could go on and on about the organizations which he's been a part. Here in Highland, though, he's been extremely committed being part of the Highland Restoration Association. It may not be a surprise to you that he was also an Eagle Scout, of course. But look, I've said enough. I could go on forever. All of you know something that I haven't said on this list, where he's touched your life serving, because that is who this man is. He's been serving the people of Shreveport his entire life. He's been leading all of us to become better and bigger than we ever thought in our horizons we would be. Every person he's touched. And now, he's finally stepping up to the next level. Thank you, M. Thomas Arceneaux.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Well, let's not have any more suspense. Today, I announce that I am a candidate to be mayor of Shreveport in the 2022 primary and general.